Hi there. Many business leaders are concerned about cybersecurity in their business. In this video, I will share a business perspective, how to understand it, how to deal with the cybersecurity in your business. So if you're a business leader and you have any concern about cybersecurity, watch this video till the very end. I will share business perspective and a financial perspective, how to deal with it, how to understand it. And also, this video may outline some of the blind spots you may have when you're dealing with the cybersecurity. And if you're an IT professional, I will share perspective in this video and also share some tools and tips and tricks that will also help you deal with the cybersecurity with your clients or with your IT department. So first of all, why do you need a cybersecurity? There's so much written and said about cybersecurity. You may need for insurance reasons that, before you get the business insurance, your provider may ask you for cybersecurity. You may need from compliance perspective that you may have some compliance issues that you need to deal with the cybersecurity, or simply just you want to improve the security of your business. So there could be many different reasons that you need that. I'm going to walk you through first, how to understand it, and then I'm going to share a research report from Microsoft for 2022 that will also, highlight a lot of those points that, why do you need it, and the research data as well. Why businesses, what's the impact on a business financially, and also why do people need to pay attention to cybersecurity. So first, let's understand why do we need a cybersecurity and how to approach it. Many years back, how we approach cybersecurity was a little bit different than how we approach cybersecurity today. A few years back, the approach was that you will hire consultants to run assessment on your business. Somebody will come on a business and they will run cybersecurity assessment. And end of the assessment, they will give you a report that show all the gaps where you have a gaps. Maybe your cybersecurity is 60%, and you got to carry a fixed few gaps, and it will take you to 100% or whatever the number was. So they give you a report. Sometimes they will fix those gaps for you, or sometimes they give you a report where you have to carry the work and fix some of those issues in a business that will take your cybersecurity. But what happens is by the time you finish covering all the gaps, if you run assessment again, you have more gaps in a business. Why that is, businesses changes all the time. Technology changes all the time. So if the cybersecurity is 60% today, it may not be 60% tomorrow. It may go less or more or less. So technology changes all the time. So, this process of, running a gap analysis and finding what the gaps are and trying to fix those gaps. And by the time you fix it, you have more gaps in a business. This was a approach in a cybersecurity many years ago. Where we are today in a cybersecurity business, if you run an approach this month, business leaders are looking into this process, simply saying that I don't need to be secure once a month, once a year, or once every quarter. I need to stay secure 24/7. So if you do using this approach that doing assessment and then filling the gap and then running assessment maybe next year or every year, what happens the rest of the year? You need to stay secure 24/7, and that's where business leaders are looking at. So that's the first issue with if you're running that assessment approach in a cybersecurity. And the second part is that business changes so fast. So there's new viruses come out and new ransomware is coming out. So if you're running assessment once a year, what happens the rest of the year? How do you know that you're gonna stay secure, right? So you need to fill the gap with the process as well. And a third part is if you have a concern on a cybersecurity, very often you also have issues in other areas of security. It could be data security, user security, system security, network security, you name it. Every other area you're gonna have issues as well. So is it only fair to your business that only look at a cybersecurity and not look at all the other security items and just get a certificate or get a gap analysis on a cybersecurity? Below this video, I'm gonna share a research report from Microsoft. You will see from the research report, 90% issues cybersecurity these days are either user errors or they started internally inside the company. So if you're only looking at cybersecurity, how are you going to capture those security issues that they happen internally or there's user errors or some sort of system errors that cause that issue? So you got to look at a whole security as security as a whole in your IT department, not only looking at cybersecurity. And the third item is when you're looking at impact on a business, yeah, cybersecurity has an impact, but how about the rest of the security items in a business as well? All those items will make have a financial and business impact in your business. So when you're looking at security, you want to look at security as a whole in a IT department, network security, system security, user security, could be user training, compliance issues. Cybersecurity is just a one part of it, but there's a lot of other security items you want to consider, and cybersecurity should be part of it. So that you're looking at the whole as an IT department, what it takes to run a business, so you can manage your risk, lower your risk. Not only looking at cybersecurity for insurance reason, even from insurance reason, is it fair for you to just only give the insurance certificate on a cybersecurity? What happened to the rest of the security? How are they going to cover you with the rest of the security issues if you're only looking at the cybersecurity when you are trying to get insurance? So how to deal with the cybersecurity? So there's many different ways you can handle cybersecurity, but the right way of dealing with the cybersecurity is you want to build a process around security. Not only cybersecurity, but all the security items I just mentioned in this video. So build a process around your security. Whether it's a cyber, whether it's a data, whether it's a hardware, whether it's a software, user security, network security. Build a process around all of these items. Your process should allow you to measure security and also verify security as well. So if you go item by item, let's say hypothetically there's about 100 items, and you go item by item and test all those items that are validated. Let's say hypothetically 80 items pass and 20 fail. You already know your security is about 80%. And out of those 80%, 20% could be cybersecurity. So you already know where you are at any given time in the security. So build a process around it and find a way how to measure it, how to validate it, how to verify it, and document the evidence. So when you have a process running ongoing basis, when you're trying to improve your cybersecurity, audit your process, and then build a plan how to improve your process. So instead of focusing on a cybersecurity, focus on your process. So if you have a process, let's say your ABC you're running every week to deal with all the security items. If you're not getting where you need to get to, maybe you need to add another item in your process. Maybe you need to delete another item. Maybe you have to tweak it, but work on a process. Because once you build a process, you can audit the process, you can validate the process, you can measure it, you can store the evidence as well for your compliance issues if you're going to do that way. So first of all, build your process. Second step is run your process, and third one is tweak your process ongoing basis. If you think your security is 80%, you need to get to 100% or 95%, whatever you have to do. Take a look at your process, audit your process, tweak your process. That will take you 95%. So instead of focusing more on a security, focus on a process. It will take your security wherever you need to go. Also for compliance issues, if you ever get audited by any security standards or any compliance issues, they're going to spend less time trying to audit your hardware and software and security items, but they're going to spend about 95% of the resources to audit your process. If you simply have a process, I change passwords every 90 days, they're simply going to audit your process and ask you evidence, show me how you change the password 90 days, right? So they're auditing most of the compliance issues. If you look at IT industries, they're looking to audit your process, not your hardware and software. So take a look at that. So build the process, validate it, run your process, and tweak your process ongoing basis around security. That will take your security where it needs to be. So that's around security process. So now let me share a quick report from Microsoft. Microsoft released a very extensive report this year from all the data they gathered from the last years. Let me walk you through the reports and highlight only a couple of important points in this report that will give you perspective how to look at cybersecurity. Their reports is very, very detailed. It's hundreds of pages, but I will just mention a couple of points that will give you perspective and how to deal with that cybersecurity in your business. So this is the report Microsoft releases once a year. Their report's called Microsoft Digital Defense Report for 2022. And in this reports, they talk about the data they gather from all the devices they get, all the clients, and they talk about first of all state of cyber crimes, where the cyber crimes are in 2020, end of 2022, and also in 2023. Where the crimes happening, what part of the world the crimes happening, where they coming from, and what kind of attacks business are experiences without a security. And they also talk about the nation state threats. Where do they see most of the threats come from? What kind of damage these threats are doing? And they also talk about device and infrastructure, what device they use to capture data, what device the data came from, and how to approach some of the data. They also talk about cyber influence operations, how to deal with if you have a knock center, how to deal with those influence centers, how to deal with the cybersecurity. They talk about cyber resilience as well. What will build resilience in your business when it comes to cybersecurity? And they also talk about the contributing teams, how many teams contributed to this data gathering process and compiling this report. So I'm going to include a link below this video. You can download this report and see for yourself. It's about a 114-page report and it has a lot of details, data in it. It will give you a lot of perspective, not only Canada, but the US data as well. In some European data as well, you will see that, where the different threats are different part of the world. Great, lot of details there. But what I want to simply highlight a couple of things, that what are the key impact items from a cybersecurity? What does, where do they see, where the cybersecurity comes from and risk comes from? So few of the items they mention in the report is insecure Active Directory configuration. So if you have a systems not configured properly, 90% chances, for the cybersecurity. They also talk about legacy authentication protocol. So if you have a lot of protocols that are not used anymore, take a look at those protocols. They also talking about the legacy hashing algorithm. They also talk about the user errors. They talk about credentials. If you have weak passwords, and people are sharing passwords, and those passwords are distributed on a dark web, that has a lot more chances that you're going to get attacked on a cybersecurity. They also talk about not having an MFA authentication. So you want to have a complex password and use a 2FA authentication to authenticate any device or any applications, right? So there's a lot of devices that talk about it, and internal adder, user training, they talk about it. So all of those items contribute to cybersecurity. So when you're looking at cybersecurity, don't just look at only your infrastructure that has access from outside to protect you from, but internal systems as well. So they're talking about when you look at a cybersecurity, you want to look at cybersecurity as a whole. Every single item in a business, not only just looking at that, the firewalls or that, couple of websites that are coming from outside. So hope this video provides some perspective. The report is below. I'm gonna include a link to a report below this video as well. Take a look for yourself, go through a report and build a plan to deal with the cybersecurity, any security item in your business. And if you need any information from the process I just mentioned in this video, by all means, my contact information is below the video as well. Send me a note. I'm more than happy to send you that information as well or walk you through. Until next video, and have yourself a great day. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.